Okay, the purpose of this video is to see if we can understand the idea of exchanging before we start doing our subtraction. Now, you may not have heard the word exchanging. Some people like to say instead borrowing, but I don't like to use this term because what does borrowing imply? Well, in borrowing, it implies that you're going to give something back to somebody. I take something from you, and then eventually I'm going to give it back. So when we're talking about subtraction, I don't like to use the word borrowing because we're not giving anything back, or the numbers, the place values aren't giving anything back. So instead, we're going to focus on calling it exchanging because I think that's a more proper word. That's what we're really doing. We're exchanging values. We're exchanging tens for ones or hundreds for tens, etc. So I want you to look over here, and I want you to look at these, I guess, units or cubes that we have here, or this long, and I want you to be thinking about place value. I just want you to think about place value for a second. If we look at this 10, well, let's see how many of our single cubes are inside a 10. So if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so within this shape, within this long, we have 10. We have 10 of these cubes. Okay, so even though we have 10 cubes, how many of the longs do we have? Okay, how many of this whole shape do we have? Well, we only have one 10, and you can see it right here. So I'm going to put a 1 over here. This is our tens place. This is going to be our ones place. Okay. Now let's come over here. Let's see, well, how many individual ones or individual cubes do we have? Well, we have 1, we have 2, 3, 4, and we have 5. So in total, we have 5 ones. Okay. And what does 110? So what does 110 plus 5 ones give us? Well, that gives us 15, and you can see that here because we can count them all. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we know 10 plus 5 is 15, or 15 represents 110 and 5 ones. Now, I want you to think about something, okay? So I'm going to erase this. I want you to think really hard about it. Could we exchange this 10 for ones? Meaning, could we get rid of this 10 and exchange it for a different place value? Well, we said how many ones are inside this single 10. Well, we said there's 10 of them. So I want you to imagine, okay, I'm going to pick another color here. I'm going to pick a green. I want you to imagine that all of these, or red, excuse me. I want you to imagine they're like Legos and they're all stuck together. And what we're going to do is we're going to break them apart, okay? We're going to snap all of these off. And we're going to make them individual cubes. Well, how many individual cubes do we have now? How many individual ones? Well, we have 10 of them, right? Because we snap them apart. So I'm going to give those 10 to the ones, okay? So we need to draw 10 of them. Okay. Thank you for your patience as I drew those. So let's see. We had our 5 ones. We added 10, so that'll be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, okay? So do we have any ones left? Or excuse me, do we have any 10s? We do not. Okay? We got rid of our 10. Remember? We broke it up and we gave it over here to the ones. Well, I want you to think about now. How many ones do we have? We have 15 ones. So we said we have zero tens, but we have 15 ones. Well, what is 0 plus 15? Well, that's just 15. And I want you to notice this. Check this out. We have an answer of 15 here, and we had an answer of 15 here. Did we change the value? Did we change how much we had? Well, clearly, we did not change how much we had because we still have 15. The only thing we changed is the place value that is holding the numbers, the place value that has the value. We no longer have a 10 over here. That's why we have 0. And we have 15 now. Well, we originally started with 110, and we only had 5 ones. But it's the same value. And let me show you now. I want to give you an example of why this is a really important conceptual understanding for you to have as you begin practicing your subtraction. Your addition as well, but we're going to focus on subtraction right now. Okay, so let's imagine we have 15, actually let me write that in different colors. Let's imagine we have 15, and we want to subtract 7. Let's subtract 7, okay? You're going to notice something in this problem. At least I hope you should notice something. And the thing that you should notice is we have a 5 here. And we're trying to take away 7. Well, if I have 5 things, I can't take away 7. Okay? We can't go into negative numbers at this stage in our learning. We're just not there yet. Okay? So I have to make this 5 larger than this 7. It has to be bigger. Well, how can I do that? Well, can't we exchange? Can't we just do what we did over here? Look, we have a 10, don't we? Don't we have a 10 right here? Why don't we do the same thing that we did right here? We're going to cross this 10 out. We're going to get rid of that 10. So we don't have any 10s now. And we're going to give those 10s to the 5. So it's kind of like saying add 10 to the 5. Well, what does adding 10 to 5 give you? Well, that gives you 15. So let's cross out our 5 because it's no longer a 5. It's 15. And now our top number is larger than our bottom number, so now we can subtract. 15 minus 7, that's going to be 8. 0 minus nothing, well, that's just going to be nothing. Okay, if you want to visualize that, we can imagine that there's a 0 here, but we don't have to put anything for 0. 15 minus 7 is 8. This is the method that we're going to focus on using in our next video on subtraction. We are going to practice exchanging. Until then, good luck, learners. Keep practicing this idea of exchanging, and I'll see you in the next video.